Today we are headed to Nature Aquarium, Quebec, a very interesting store. I've never actually been to a fish store or a pet store in Quebec, so I'm absolutely fascinating because if you guys don't know, Quebec, Canada is like its own country with its own people, and I'm excited to see if we have one thing in common, that is fish tanks and the way we keep them. So today I've got Philippe with me, who's gonna take us through his store, and then at the end, we're gonna have a sit down and conversation and see what we have in common and maybe what we don't. So Philippe, why don't you take us away and kind of walk us through your really interesting and cool store here.
Sure.
Do you want to start in the dry goods?
Dry goods. Well, yeah, we have a lot of. We're one of the first importers in Quebec to actually import some ADA stuff. So I have a lot of ADA tanks, all the ADA substrates, which is a great seller actually. So all the substrates are there.
Oh yeah.
The aqua bases, everything. You also have all the tanks right here, which are always the most popular ones.
I should have guessed it. So I had an idea that you guys are a big focus on actually aquascaping.
Absolutely, that's our specialty actually. We're doing aquascapes here in this store for 8 years now, almost 9. And I've been in aquascaping for almost 15 years now, actively in aquascaping also. That's it. So aquascaping is our main focus. We specialize also in small fishes, microfishes.
Lots of stuff. Oh, you got everything ADA. You love ADA.
We love ADA. Sure, we have tattoos of ADA. We have ADA stuff. We also import our own lighting system from Twin Star. I don't know if you know Twin Star lighting.
I do, yeah.
They're a great product actually.
Then you have some more affordable stuff like the Fluval stuff.
Yeah, you need Fluval.
You gotta.
That's the aisle that I don't like actually.
You hate this aisle.
I hate this aisle. Sorry.
Busy day. I've come on the wrong day.
It's the busiest day actually.
Sorry.
We also have all our Dua stuff for wabikuzas and terrariums and stuff like that. We have one right here. We have still more ADA stuff right here. The new line Kumu. A lot of hardscaping materials. Usually we have more even,
and a lot of these sizes are kind of designed to be perfect for the tank sizes you sell.
Yeah, tank sizes.
It's almost like you buy it and then you're done. Look at the flat.
Exactly.
That is cool.
This
is gonna float though.
Yeah.
It's
But
gonna float.
When you can make them. You can boil them.
Yeah.
Or just put some rocks on it and for a couple of days and they're gonna sink. We're actually building a new aquascape back there, which doesn't have any lights on. We're doing a dark start with this one, and we're sinking the woods with some rocks on it.
Yeah, that is very cool. It'll look a lot better without the rocks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and with some plants in it also.
Yeah, perhaps someday. So you can do black water. This is cool.
Yep.
So many people want me to do this.
Well, it's fun actually. It's fun and easy. It's a more natural approach to aquarium keeping.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. The colors of fishes also is pretty cool. Their behavior also. We import a lot of our own botanicals also with a company in France called Marc Del Catapa. We have some here. We have some side here also.
I really like the look of that. This is probably more so along my lines because it doesn't have plants.
Yeah.
This is really nice. This is more like Dutch style sort of, but it does have.
This one is in dire need of a trim.
Actually. Yeah, could use one. Grow it out. But this one's just gorgeous. The color contrast is insane.
Yep. This is with the lighting from ADA also, with the Aqua Sky. This is the first series one. So it tends to be more on the greenish side.
I'm giving one of these away tomorrow.
Really?
I'm giving the system away tomorrow. Cool. Not yours. I got one.
I hope so. I wasn't aware of.
This is awesome. I love the color contrast. Now I'm colorblind, so
really?
Getting to see the actual contrast is really important. This one here, it all looks the same color up there.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
But this is, in my opinion, more visually appealing. What do you think? What do you think, Tamara? Do you think?
I love the untrimmed tank.
She's got a 180-gallon tank with nothing but it's just she doesn't trim it.
Like a Dutch style.
Yeah, I wouldn't even call it Dutch style.
No.
It's more like a nursery for plants. And you got this thing. Oh, this is a really nice. Is that stand for it? Or
no,
just
actually,
happened to
no.
fit
It's
it?
an old stand for. I don't even remember what brand this was.
Wow, okay.
This is the new Fluval Beta tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's their light?
No, that's not their light.
I was going to say, that's
We're cheating.
they're really nice.
That's actually a Twin Star light.
That's a Twin Star?
Yeah.
This too?
This too, yeah.
So this one's the same length as this one.
Well, the same length. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Prices
Well, this one is three times.
3 times more expensive?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
So would you say that one's like $1,000?
No, it's more in the $600 range.
Canadian.
Canadian, yeah.
So $20 American.
Exactly, yeah. Well, Twin Star is cheaper in price.
And this was
but-
like $200?
No. This one is the high end one. Is the S series. It's more on the 400, 3 or 400. We should see. We have the S series. There's also the E series, and there's also the
Aqualumination.
the B series.
Super cool. So that's what, if I were to do, this reminds me of like a small experience store. And that's something that I would want to do. A lot of people want me to start a fish store, but I have absolutely no interest in it because I'd be shut down so quickly with my customer reviews, with people just returning stuff, that I'd rather do something like this, like a small experience, highly specialized, and really, really cool. And the interesting thing to me is like, I can come in here and be inspired by this or this, and then you have everything for it.
Exactly.
As opposed to a lot of stores that will just do this.
Yeah.
And good luck getting inspired
Exactly,
or
yeah.
interested or curious or
Well, our mentality is if we can do it, we can help you achieve it. Actually,
believe,
So,
achieve. What was the rest? Yeah, dream, believe, achieve. You also write motivational books.
yeah. Well, I wish.
Yeah, that's super cool. Let's take a look at some of your fish. It looks like you have a heavy emphasis on tissue culture.
Yeah, we have some. We roll a lot of the potted plants also.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few of them in some like a greenhouse, mainly in water right here.
You only carry the best.
Tropica, yeah, and ADA.
Wow, that's insane. I've never seen anything like this.
We have a lot of microfishes. We have some rare things also in our small microfishes. Medacas. We have super beautiful.
These look like they're saltwater. Very interesting. They're glowing eyes. Is that their max size?
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe a little bigger. Norman's lampi. They're gonna have some a little bit of yellowish in their fins also.
Very interesting.
We have some Pandagaras right here. They're beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Clownchillies.
A lot of these things you only ever read about or see online. You never get to see it in person.
We have a lot of clients that don't have the space for huge aquariums. So they want to invest in something pretty, something high end.
Yeah.
So that's why they go with 60Ps from ADA, which
Yeah.
are these ones. So we need the fishes to go with them.
Is that the ADA stand too?
That's the ADA stand. Yeah, that's
Very
the metal
cool.
stand.
And you've got this ADA CO2 reactors. You got the skimmer. Whoa, that's not an ADA skimmer, is it?
No, that's not an ADA skimmer.
Yeah,
Sorry.
they don't make anything ugly.
Exactly. Well, that's the Eheim one.
Yeah. Well, Eheim's good too. I like Eheim.
Yeah, sure.
And then you got the Eheim canister.
Yep.
They're the best canisters in my opinion. And I think ADA makes similar type canisters.
It's the same thing.
Yeah, same
It's
concept.
just all in stainless steel,
Yeah.
which is indestructible, literally. But the price is really high. But
But Eheim was the first to introduce the canister filter, I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they
88
never changed their design.
for the classic one, exactly.
Yeah, the wheel wasn't broken, so
Yeah.
they didn't try to fix it. I love that. And this is new. I keep seeing these on the ADA website and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Where
This one is the Dua Sail. Well, it's all terrariums. You see, all plants, all aquatic plants that we sell in store
Did you see this tomato?
are called palustres in French.
You can put that light away if you want.
Which means they have a form in terrarium and underwater. So outside, immersed, and immersed. So we keep them as terrarium plants instead of becoming aquarium plants.
What's in
These-
here for
these
life?
ones are-
Anything?
no, nothing. It's only plants. No, it's only vegetation. This one's been has been working for almost 2 years now.
Wow.
Yeah, for 2 years it's been like that. So it looks old actually. Yeah. This one has been started for about 2 weeks now. So it's really, really young.
Yeah. But eventually it's probably going to clear up.
Yeah, it's gonna thicker at the bottom and everything. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I really like this. This is really cool.
This one is really cool. Yeah, actually you can even put some water in it. It has a really small hole and drips from time to time just to humidify.
Oh, it does. You
humidify-
see right there? Yeah, like saturated, I guess. Get some humidity. That is awesome. This. Okay, I gotta check out a few more things over
Yeah, sure.
here. Oh, how do you feel about these guys, the black lines?
I love them.
I've got 250.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Costemon.
I'm just kind of getting into like the higher end planted tanks.
Okay.
And my latest is a 700.
That?
700 gallons.
Only 700 gallons.
I've got a 2000.
Yeah.
I'm doing a 375 too.
Okay.
That's planted, but the 700 is the one I entered into the ADA contest.
The IAPLC.
Yeah,
one.
maybe we'll
Okay.
talk about that later.
Really, really cool.
Very interesting concept
Cool.
there. But so essentially, lots of smaller
It's
community,
mainly small fish.
nano, planted tank friendly. I think the biggest fish I've seen so far are your little gouramis here. Oh, you got the pearls. I think these guys are awesome.
Yeah, we have some rainbow fishes that are going to be bigger also.
What are these? Boswani? No.
I have some Bozeman's. I have some Incisus.
And then the reds. Iranian reds, is that what those are?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I got, when I did a planted 375 gallon with just
Yeah.
moss, I
Yeah.
did 200 of those or
that's
something
amazing.
like that. Yeah.
When they're in full color,
Yeah.
they're splendid. We usually have more shrimps also. For now, we have a little bit of Caridinas, some Neos also. We have some rare corridoras, which are one of the biggest corridoras there is. And we also have some beautiful real black rams, which are really, really rare. They're amazing. Full of vigor, they eat well.
Those are
Beautiful,
really cool.
Beautiful one.
Really rare. $80. Is that competitive, or is they're just so rare that that's as cheap as
really
you can go?
rare. Yeah, they're pretty rare. We have there's some qualities also in black rams. These are the real ones.
The red fins is really cool.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very awesome. So how does everybody find you? What's the address here?
I don't remember.
I'll put it in the link in the description below. How I don't know where I don't know where I am. You're starting to sound like me. I have no clue. I'm not from Quebec.
Somewhere in Three Rivers. You know? just look it up on Google.
He gets here based off the location of the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
But I found you through Instagram.
Okay.
However, when I was telling my fans on Facebook where should I go when I'm in Montreal or Quebec area, and you were the #1 rated place, so I definitely had to stop in. What is your social media handles? I know you do Instagram and YouTube.
Instagram, I have some YouTube. We started in YouTube actually. We're a lot on Facebook because Quebec, well, Facebook, you know.
Okay.
We're a little bit on TikTok also, just for fun.
Yep.
Actually, but mainly on Facebook and Instagram. So there's a lot of videos and informative stuff also, but a lot of just having fun.
But they're in French, eh?
They're in French. We did some.
You guys got to hear aquarium videos in French. It's so interesting, and to hear what things are called, poisson, and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
well,
Is that how you say fish?
It's poisson.
Poisson. What did I say?
You said poisson.
Okay, I
It's
said
okay.
it. I said it.
It's okay.
You'd think I'd know because I'm Canadian, but I'm from Nova Scotia. We don't really speak French over there. All right. Well, thanks for having me. I
pleasure.
do have some more questions for
Sure.
you. So as you know, I entered the ADA contest with my 700 gallon, but I only had about 60 days for things to mature. And one of the things right before we were talking about this is this picture right here. What is this?
Well, that's an old one actually. That's the first top 100 Canadian that entered
highest
the
ranking.
highest ranking. Sorry, yeah, for the IAPLC, which it was.
What year was that?
2013.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I
How many
placed-
people entered that year?
Oh my God! I should get the IAPLC booklet. I have back. So I think it was 2,700 people at that time. Yeah.
Wow.
I think there were 8 to 10 Canadians.
But this is when, and Takashi signed this, so see, he saw this tank, and he
Yep.
probably would have had some at least influence on how the judging should have been done.
Absolutely. Actually, there were 10 judges.
Yeah.
And in the booklet, I can even see where I lost points.
Yeah.
So we see all the judges, and Takashi Amano is the one that's the more, how can I say, more severe.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of points
Critical.
because of him,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is an old thing, you know. The style, the techniques evolved a lot. This was an old thing.
It's
know?
definitely changed. Like if this
Absolutely,
was
yeah.
entered today,
Oh my God! Top
horrible.
2000.
Yeah,
horrible.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
beautiful. And one of my favorite aquariums of all time is Takashi Amano's angelfish tank in his residence.
Yeah.
And when you look at that, and then you look at the way aquascaping in Japan and in Asia has evolved, it's gone more towards dioramas, which in my opinion is starting to scare a lot of people off because
Exactly.
we don't scape like that. Now, we are in Quebec at Nature Aquarium Quebec, and one of the things that I was curious about is, do they actually keep fish differently than us? Do they scape different? And to be abundantly honest, it's identical. They do the same, and all across Canada, and even North America, it seems like we're doing this, and we're doing something like this, whereas, and in my opinion, this is beautiful. Take a look at this. This is absolutely stunning. However, if entered into the contest, it's probably too rudimentary. It's not complicated enough. And a lot of people, you mentioned like they're being entered as dioramas. I don't mean to be critical of the contest, but when I think of nature aquariums, I don't think of Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
Or
We don't
walking
need
through the forest.
necessarily
or-
mountainscapes.
Yeah.
It's really it has denatured of what aquascaping from Takashi Amano
Yeah.
was actually, which was maintaining plants for a long period of time and seeing them evolve in
Yeah.
this landscape actually. Now it's just instant.
Yeah.
You know, just we make the aquascape, we take the picture, we move on.
Yeah, and take it
But,
down.
see,
They're not.
this one is 2 years old actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's in dire need of a trim, but
Dire need of a trim 3 weeks ago.
yeah.
But it's definitely interesting the way things are evolving and what really inspired all of this in the first place and the way it's going. And the reason I entered was specifically to, everybody knows I'm not an aquascaper. I can barely grow plants. My favorite thing to grow is algae. With that said, I thought, what if I could get as many North Americans, Canadians, as well as Americans to enter the contest and show them, like, this is how we scape. This is technically, I believe, Takashi would have kind of leaned towards us.
Exactly.
A mix of Dutch and beautiful aquascaping, all of his rules that he would follow. And how do you think, besides, like, that was my big hurrah, I did what I could to help, but moving forward, what do you think we could do to kind of keep aquascaping not only relatable, beautiful, but actually aquatic as opposed to landscape type
Landscaping,
thing?
I don't know. Well, actually, I think ADA is doing a great job in Japan of, you know, with their Sueki creators, with
Okay.
Daichi and Yusuke Homa.
Yeah.
They really channel Takashi Amano's
Yeah.
spirit, actually.
Well, their
which-
gallery
Yeah.
isn't a reflection of the contest at all.
Absolutely not. That's what I think they should maybe promote more.
But the contest is like the pinnacle
Yeah,
of aquascaping.
I know. Yeah.
So it's a catch-22 where they don't really control the entrance, but the
No.
judging is kind of picking those.
Exactly. Maybe if the judges would more, you know, maybe
We
celebrate.
solved it. It's the judges' faults.
Exactly. Sorry, I won't win.
I know a few of the judges personally. That's fine.
But you know, maybe if we just celebrate more of the older the tank is, the more healthy
Mature.
the tank looks.
Yeah.
You know, the whole feeling of the tank also more nature oriented than diorama. That just this.
Well, I'm going to be meeting up with a friend, Frank. You guys might know him on Instagram, Escaping the Six, in a couple of days. I'm probably going to do something like this where I want to talk to him about some of the behind the scenes things that he knows. He's like, oh, these are tips and tricks. And I'm like, these sounds like scams to me, the way people are setting up these scapes, taking the front panel off, just gluing it all together. stuffing in the plants, put the panel back on, toss in fish, take a picture, and then rip the tank down in hopes that they're going to win the money. Which I think if the money prize was removed and it was more about prestige, it could be it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I'm going to be in Japan in November, and I'll voice my concerns, and they might laugh me out of there, or they might take it seriously. Another thing is that I wanted to ask you was creators. You are a creator as well as a store owner. You are on social media. Do you think that they should be embraced more with the contest and allow them to show the process more, to get excitement, to inspire others, to have a bigger voice? Or should we all just stay quiet and say, hey, I entered this contest, but I can't show you the tank? Because I had to do it opposite. What do you think?
You mean keeping everything silent, not showing anything?
Yeah, I can't show nothing.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, I don't know why they do that, actually. But yeah, maybe having more of the concept of the creation before the contest instead of everything coming after the contest.
Well, I think your final photo, don't show that.
Yeah, exactly.
However, what I had to do, because when they wanted me to enter, they're like, but you can't show the tank. I was like, well, then I'm not entering. It's a 700-gallon tank. I'm a YouTuber. This is what I do. And I was like, what if I do one scape just to get the plants to grow, and then rip out all the scape and rescape it? And that picture I showed you is the end result. Before it was way different. Okay. So I had to do 2 scapes within 60 days and have that final picture ready. It was really interesting. I did it more for the challenge, the excitement, the drama. Yeah. But I hope. I know that you guys did your part here in Quebec. You had record number entrants.
Yeah, exactly.
Canada had record number entrants, the United States, all of North America. So technically, what we were trying to achieve this year, and ADA was making a huge push to get as many Canadians, North Americans to enter as possible, embracing social media creators as well. And I think that was a great idea. However, my interest as well is like, how did you get into the hobby? How did this all happen and start for you?
Oh my God. Well, I'm 44 years old, and I started at 10 years old.
See, the gray hair threw me off. I thought he was going to say, oh, I'm 67. No, he's my age. I'm 42.
I look 67 years
No, with the gray hair. I'm 42. You're my age. He's like, oh, don't get me started. You're not that old.
Yeah. But I've been there. I've been in this fight since I was 10 years old. But anyways, I started with some, just betta fish and stuff like that. I worked in another pet store for about 10 years. 10 years ago, and I discovered Takashi Amano actually with his books, his famous books. When I saw that, I told myself, no, that's impossible to accomplish. But slowly things came in Canada, for the dry goods and stuff like that, technical soils and stuff like that, and I'm gonna try it. I've always been into miniaturism, doing model things and stuff like that, and I always loved the finesse of stuff like that. So that's when I started in aquascaping about 15 years ago. But I've been in aquariums for almost 34 years now. So just keeping fish just for fun. Never bred nothing. Just had some weird fishes like elephant nose and stuff like that. And but eventually that was my passion, which is aquascaping. Seeing some plants grow, there's something really gratifying. Seeing your scape changing every week. When you're seeing this glossostigma cover the soil, which at first only patches, and at last you have something really dense. That's really satisfying, seeing your aquascape not being static for each week. It's something new, so that's really gratifying. That thing I love.
Being on social media and also being a store. Do you ship?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, plants, fish, whatever, equipment. Okay, so that's an interesting one. How long have you been on social media as your NAQ?
NAQ, 5 years now. Actually, it was a little before the pandemic. Yeah.
Did you find that it was out of a necessity because you thought Amazon and all these other places, these internet, were kind of like...
At first, no. At first, it was mainly just for having fun with my friend here. We wanted actually to prepare some educational videos to help us have more time here in store, because when we were starting to explain CO2, how to set up your CO2 system and everything, It was a lot time consuming here in
There's
the
no
store.
French videos.
Well,
there's not a lot of
nothing.
French creators.
There's absolutely nothing.
So this was an opportunity to create that piece of content. So when your customers come in, you could say, just go watch this.
Go watch this. So I
Okay.
gave them my card. They scanned the QR code, and there you go. You got
Oh.
the videos. Yeah. So that was really helpful.
And now you've grown quite the presence. Are you finding that that's helping with sales?
Yeah, sure.
Or and awareness at least?
Absolutely, yes,
Yeah.
because we have a lot of people coming in from Montreal,
Yeah.
Laval, Quebec. We have some people even from Toronto that came in just
Yeah.
because they saw us on the internet.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, yes, it does help a lot.
So what is something that you would like for my viewers to not only know about NAQ, but perhaps aquascaping in general? What is like a message you could give them to potentially inspire or get them started?
Oh my God, that's a good question. Actually, don't be scared. I know it's really scary seeing all those IAPLC entries and all that stuff, but you have to start somewhere. And plants, you have to listen to them. You just plant them, let them grow, let them. They're gonna talk to you. Just let them go. It's easier than you think. Aquascaping actually. Start with a base, start with only a piece of rock and a piece of wood, and let the plant grow through it. And it's natural. Nature has a tendency to aquascape itself, actually. So just this and how can I say? Learn from nature, actually. That's what Takeshi Amano said. But yes.
Are you using RO water or anything like that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Ah, that would be key. My philosophy is if you can't survive in my water, I'm not going to keep you. So I'm pretty selective with plants, and even some fish don't do well in my water. And but RO seems to be, as well as CO2, good lighting, good substrate. There's a number of key components, but RO, even in salt water.
Well, with RO water, you have this blank canvas, so you can just add any minerals you need for exactly what the plant needs. So these days we have some great companies with great things, great products like 2-Hour Aquarius, which makes a great product to remineralize your water. CCAM with alkaline buffer to bring up your KH. You have
and you're
ADA.
constantly measuring?
Well, no, not usually. No. We know them by heart. We look at our plants. We listen to our plants actually.
When you started this tank off, specifically, I guess. Just working over here. So when you started this tank off specifically, you scaped it, you planted it, and then just RO water, and depended on maybe the substrate and the nutrients in it? Or?
Actually, when we started this one, we planted immediately and started to do some 50% water change each day for 2 weeks because of the aqua soil.
Yeah,
the aqua soil leaches a lot of nutrients in the water column, so we need to do that. But each time we did a water change, we had to put some minerals. So we did it with, I think at first we did it with Equilibrium from CCAM, and we also added some alkaline buffer to buff a little bit the KH. But the aqua soil buffed the pH down. So we always have a pH of 6.6, but we tend to rise the KH, which is better for CO2 dissolution, and plants also will prefer to have a little bit of KH in their water. So we always mineralize everything. So we know per week we remove 50% of the tank, so we know exactly how much of the products we need to put in.
When it comes to plants and or planted tanks, what's your least favorite method that maybe other creators, influencers, and or groups of people promote that you wish you could just remove it from the hobby, period?
Well, the dry start.
Dry
start method.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, I have my opinion on it because I saw a lot of people. I have a lot of clients that tried it, and unfortunately, what happens is that plant has adapted itself for an immersed state. So when you put in your water,
they melt.
it has a lot of time they're all melt down. So you're stuck with a lot more of problems than success actually. But I know a lot of people it works great. But by experience with a lot of my clients, unfortunately, they lost a lot. So dry start method, not too sure. I like the dark start method, which is completely different. But it's like this one. This one is a dark start method. So what we do is we just fill it up. We do our hardscape. We put on in our aqua soil, which leaches all the nutrients. We do a 50% water change each week, but we let it in the dark. So what happens? It's our filter gets built up with all the beneficial bacteria. We have always big filters. This one is a young professional 4. So it takes about maybe 4 weeks. When everything's great, when there's no more ammonia spikes, no more nitrates, we flush it all out. You get rid of all the water. We plant it. The filter we don't touch. All the bacteria are sane, healthy. Sorry. And afterwards, once it's planted, we bring out the light and mineralize everything. Start fertilizing, and that's it.
What about the no water change method? A lot of people are advertising or advocating.
Yeah.
You could set up an aquarium. I mean, I guess you could get away with no water changes, but
yeah, but you wouldn't have. It wouldn't be lush like that. I don't think you would have many more, a lot of colors like that. Actually, you know, to have some red like this, you have to starve your plants from nitrates. So they need nitrates, but not a lot. They should be able to consume all the nitrates in one day. So if you don't do any water changes, eventually they're going to starve. So what's going to happen? You won't have reds like that. You need to put in a little bit of nutrients, but just enough so they can consume it day by day. Actually, just a little bit. That's why. That's how we have this red plants.
I'm open to all of those methods and trying to understand them and stuff, but I think I'm more in line with you with water changes are a necessity. The other interesting one that's kind of floating around, and I have friends that do it, I don't do it, but no filters.
Yeah, called the wall stand, I think. Is that it?
Yeah, there's all different names for all different. What do you think about no filtration?
Well,
obviously the plants remove the nitrate, and bacteria is going to grow on everything. You can create more of a natural environment. But my take on it is this is a trapped box. This is not actually a river.
You need to have
flush through system.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have some circulation. Actually, circulation is a key part ingredient actually of the success of an aquascape. You need some circulation just to distribute the CO2, just to distribute nutrients, to make your gas exchange on top of the aquarium also, which is essential. The only thing is going to happen is you're going to trap all your CO2 in the aquarium, which is not good. Your fish is gonna hate that. So no, I'm not too.
What about flow when you first set the tank up? Should you shut it off? Because I always had the idea of flow's going to force the plant to kind of sprout its roots to take grip. Are you along there as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, the flow is really, really important. Just bacterial-wise, you need that oxygenation for your bacteria and your filter also. So that's really, really important. So yes, we tend to have a bigger flow. At night, we tend to bring our lily pipes up, so we have a better gas exchange on the surface. Also,
is there CO2 on this tank?
Yeah. It's on the main on the filter actually. So it's an inline one.
It's interesting because you have a surface skimmer, obviously, to take away any sort of protein or skim on the top, but you also have surface movement.
Yeah.
And in the combination of both, you're having a lot of gas exchange, yet you're dosing with CO2.
Absolutely, but we dose a lot of CO2. Okay. So having this gas exchange makes it that we will never have concentration of CO2, which are going to be not.
Where is your CO2? Do you have a bubble counter on it?
Yeah, it's here actually.
I think the water evaporated.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But the secret is to inject a lot of CO2 in the aquarium, really too much CO2. If you didn't have any water exchange on top, a gas exchange, on top, the CO2 would build up, and now it would be toxic for fishes. But with having this, with the surface skimmer, you're gonna have a lot of CO2 for your plants and nothing dangerous for your fishes.
Your drop checker seems like it's pushing towards that yellow, but it's definitely green.
Yeah.
But you do have low stocking as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's one of the things when it comes to CO2 is potentially, deadly if you don't get it right. Do you always know based on the size of the tank how many bubbles or?
No.
You just
It's always different. You
every
need-
day, just kind of check on the drop checker.
Absolutely, you have
Yeah.
to accommodate to all the plants
Good.
that
because that's what I do.
yeah, exactly. Well, when you
I
plant
hate it
first-
because it can take on the 700. It takes almost a week
that's
to
crazy,
notice
yeah.
changes.
Yeah, exactly.
Or to see anything. And like I said, I had 60 days to get
Yeah.
these plants to grow, and it took me like 3 weeks to tune everything. Make sure the lights are at the right brightness and the right height, and
Yeah.
distribute everything. It was relatively difficult. You also do dosing.
Yeah.
What are you dosing?
We're dosing the nutrients from 2 Hour Aquarius, which is APT E in this one, I think. Yes. So
How
it's the
often are you dosing?
Each day.
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why the
At
plants are-
first, we started with APT 1. We followed with APT 3. Now, the thing is, there's so much nutrient need in this aquarium, so we do with the APT E, which is the estimated index. So there's a lot of nutrients in this aquarium.
The 2 Hour Aquarius, is that a hobbyist?
Yeah.
Like a guy?
Yeah, he started
I
as
thought
a
so.
yeah, exactly. He has his blog on
Yeah,
online,
yeah.
and he started his company. I think it's 3 years ago. I think so.
I only,
they're Singapore based.
I use that and something like Nylog or
Yeah,
Nycol.
I don't know this one. Yeah, I think it's in the States. Nylock
Yeah.
Thrive.
but I had most success using the 2 Hour Aquarius.
Yeah,
Very
absolutely.
interesting.
At
When you
first-
trim this
yeah.
as a store, do you sell that? Like your trimmings?
Usually we even
If there's enough?
yeah, but we give them to.
Oh, you give them away?
Yeah.
You should do trim days.
Trim days. That's a good thing.
Where you bring in people for trim days.
Usually we have some newbies, often some children, some kids that starting in aquascaping. So we give them these bunches,
Oh.
which are really, really healthy. I'm, just trying to help the community and starting their aquascape
Yeah.
without spending too much. Otherwise, they're gonna end up in the trash, and we don't want that because they're really, really healthy.
What plants or species of plants do you recommend people stay away from when they're
Away
starting?
from. Alex, help me.
Like top 2, top 3? Like don't keep them.
Don't keep them. Vallisneria.
Yeah, I
hate
can't keep that.
Vallisneria.
You can keep it. I can't. Why do you hate it?
Well, they're too aggressive. They tend to
I wish.
to snuff everything in the aquarium. So
Yeah.
all the other plants lack nutrition because they take everything. They intake
Not
everything. Actually, so I'm not a fan of Vallisneria.
What about floating plants? You have none.
Yeah, we have. Well, we sell some. We have a little bit of limnobium.
Oh, there you go, right there. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are nice.
limnobium. I like the redfoot floater also. We usually use them in some small nano tanks because they're not too big. They're beautiful.
What's besides Anubias, the ferns and mosses? What do you recommend as the best?
All rounder?
Well, there's 2 real different types of plants, really. The stems, and then the plants that send off like runners.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the best runner to start with, and then what do you think is the best?
Well, one of the
stems?
easiest one is actually this one. I love this one.
Dwarf
The-
airgas.
Yeah, the Heliocaris acicularis. This one is really, really easy to seeing it run really easily. It's
Definitely
not too-
carpets, and it's
Yeah.
not, it's fun to trim,
It's fun to trim.
but you
can-
need CO2 if you want it to carpet like this.
If you don't want CO2, I would say actually I had a lot of success with the Liliopsis brasiliensis. I don't know if it has a common name, but Liliopsis brasiliensis is pretty easy also. It looks a lot like this one, but a little bit thicker. It's not more it's not
It's like
dense.
not the dwarf chainsword, is it?
Well, I have it. I can show you.
Yeah, show it to me, maybe. I don't know their scientific names.
I don't know their common names. It's this one right here.
Oh, that is pretty cool, though.
This one's pretty easy.
No, I don't know this one. I don't know it. Interesting.
And for stem plants, well, you never go wrong with rotalas.
Yeah, Rotala
Any
rotundifera,
rotalas
yeah.
is always a good success, and nowadays we have a lot of rotalas available. Blood red, orange juice, macronda.
I don't know if I should ask this because I don't see any. How do you feel about the crypts?
I love crypts, but we don't tend to scape a lot with them, and I don't know why. I have absolutely no reason why.
They get kind of big.
They get kind of big. There are some that are
Tough
pretty
to control.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe some big changes in the aquarium. Sometimes they tend to melt, so that might be a turn off. But yeah, actually, I think we should start to growing more some crypts. Yeah, because they're beautiful.
My piranha tank, which is 16 feet long, is mostly crypts.
Yeah.
And it just carpets the whole tank.
Yeah,
Super
yeah.
cool. But all right, I think we covered some ground. Thank you for joining us. If you guys enjoyed this video and like just talking, let me know in the comment section below, or questions I should have asked. I'm sure he'll be kicking around because he does have his own YouTube channel, so maybe he'll be in the comments helping out. But you are on Instagram as well and YouTube, so I'll link those in the description below if you want to see and follow along with his journey of sharing, educating, inspiring you guys as well. Like I said though, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Cool. It's pretty cool.